against Missouri back on March the 28th. So he has been out the last 26 games. Last year, Big 12 Player of the Year, 18 home runs, 53 runs driven in. He'll be in the 2 spot tonight. Galvan having a great year. Jalen Flores, an All-American at shortstop a season ago. And Tommy Farmer IV gets the start in the outfield tonight, but they'll have to get it done against one of the best pitchers in the country in Kyson Witherspoon. What an excellent year the junior from Jacksonville, Florida, and out of Northwest Florida State College has had. Leads the SEC in wins with 9 of them, and he is second in earned run average. You see, he is a projected top 6 pick in the upcoming Major League Baseball draft. Great environment. We are ready to go on a Thursday night. Overcast skies and a rarity in Oklahoma this time of the year. There's hardly a breath of wind.
Yeah, it's amazing. Usually it's blowing out about 30 miles an hour to left field, blowing out of the south. But like you said, I mean, just the breath of a wind, if that.
Ethan Mendoza digs in, an 0-1 count on him. This one, towering foul ball that lands over in the Texas bullpen down the first base line. Longhorns disappointed in the way that their series with Florida concluded last week. Jim Schlossnagle was upset, you know, with the chance to clinch an SEC title. Senior day, you had a home game, and he met with members of his leadership group on this Texas team, trying to figure out a way to put it back together like they had it about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. So Witherspoon misses just a little bit outside. 1-2. So we are 4 pitches in, and already we've got attention drawn by the plate umpire Kevin Sweeney.
That's a given at any college game.
You couldn't pay me enough to be a plate umpire in the Oklahoma-Texas baseball series.
Oh no, they get it from both sides, like you were saying, especially down there. I mean, you know, they have the Wild Bunch down there at Dish Falk Field, and they ride the players and the umpires and the coaches and everybody.
It seems as though you speak from experience, Rich.
Yes. You know, I was a bigger shortstop in my freshman year, and the Wild Bunch, you sit right by the dugout. And they said, of course, they knew where I was from. They knew everything about me. And the only thing I heard was, "Hey, Hills, is that a cheeseburger in your pocket?"
Was it?
They thought it was. I guess because I was too big to be a shortstop.
Little lazy fly ball by Mendoza, kind of a defensive swing there. Here is Max Ballou. Texas certainly missing the Alito, Texas junior. Rumors that he was going to be available. Then you get the lineup card and see his name written in. That alone, as a teammate, just to see a guy back in there, what does that do for you? Yeah,
especially a player of that caliber. You know, I'm sure everybody's excited to have him back. I mean, you see he's hitting .358 with 6 home runs and 22 RBIs. But I remember him from last year, and he was impressive to watch, especially at the plate.
Just exploded last year. Really didn't play that much the year before. Did a little bit of de-aging, only played about 15 games. And then exploded with 18 home runs, drove in 53 runs. Big 12 Player of the Year.
And here we go with
58, 6 homers.
With the 2-strike shift on him again. OU seems to be doing that a lot this year.
So Oklahoma shifts the shortstop, Jackson Willits, basically to where the second baseman would typically be. It's kind of a natural shift, you might say, just moving everybody over a position, basically.
Yeah, and with Branch is probably, I don't know, 5 to 10 yards in the right field grass out there. You see him backing up. But you got to be careful as the second baseman not to get too deep, because that little middle to slow ground ball can really get you. You have to come a long way to get it.
Swing and a miss on 1-2. That is Kyson Witherspoon's 105th strikeout of the year and only 19 walks.
Yeah, just a great pitch down in the zone, gets him to chase. You know, Kyson's been amazing all year long, and hopefully he can finish his season off because he's going to be a top 5 pick.
Bases empty, 2 gone for Rylan Galvan, catcher for the Longhorns. Batting .305. 14 home runs is the most by a Texas catcher since 1992. This one pulled in the hole between third and short, cut off by Willis. 1-2. Oklahoma lineup set to face Cade Bing, who will throw his first pitch against an SEC opponent this year here tonight. So interesting. The story with Cade Bing. And Texas has had an injury in the pitching staff with Jared Spencer going down. He was the Friday night guy. Luke Harrison has been up there. Ruger Riojas has also been the regular Friday night guy. But it's almost like you don't have a midweek game. You've got the SEC championship coming up. And you kind of want to find out whether or not Cade Bing can get SEC hitters out on a regular basis, Rich. So Jim Schlossnagle and Max Wiener will give him a go tonight.
Yeah, that's, you know, and I get it. You know, they probably think they're going to win one of these games. But like you said, at the same time, they want to see if he's going to be valuable in the postseason. And like you said, see if he can get a good hitting team out in Oklahoma.
He was really the Sunday starter for non-conference play, but as we said, you know, Spencer gets hurt right at the beginning of conference play, and it's been a wait-and-see approach typically to Sunday starts for the Longhorns. Today, Cade Bing will get the start against this Oklahoma lineup. Sooners come in, batting .283 as a ball glove. You see Bing's 10th start, but his first against an SEC opponent. And another interesting storyline is that Cade Bing came from McLennan Community College, spent a year there playing for Skip Johnson's son, Tyler, who's the head coach there at McLennan. So they got a decent scouting report on what Cade Bing looks like. Leading things off, one of the leaders in walks in the SEC is Trey Gamble. There's Easton Carmichael leading Oklahoma in home runs and runs batted in the number 2 spot. Cade Bing had Tommy John surgery in high school and then walked on at McLennan Junior College. Just got better. Was on a JUCO World Series team a season ago down there. Breaking ball misses. Rolling away. A guy who's been a real spark for Oklahoma this year. That's Trey Gamble. He's one of those guys that not necessarily flashy or spectacular, but certainly noticeable, particularly with how often he gets on base.
Yeah, definitely. He's been a bright spot for this Oklahoma offense. You know, he has a presence about him, a really good eye at the plate, knows how to separate balls to strikes, and you know, like you said, he's not wowing, you know, people, but he's just consistent. He's that guy.
Longhorns also shift just as Oklahoma did in the top of the first inning. This pitch misses down and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jalen Flores, the shortstop. It's a little different from Oklahoma's shift. Oklahoma leaves only the third baseman. That is Willis over on the third base side. Longhorns leave the shortstop Flores where he was. This one launch foul on the play. Kind of stayed 3-2. Trey Gamble's brother Tate plays at BYU. Another brother Cole played at BYU for 3 years, and they have another brother Cade who plays at Salt Lake Community College. Man, what do you think Mom and Dad were doing in the summers?
Spending a lot of money on travel ball.
That one runs up and in and hits it. So, an auspicious beginning for Cade Bing, the left-hander, 3-2 pitch that hits Trey Gamble.
That fastball just got away from him. On the arm side, gets Gamble in the arm. Doesn't really have to make a full attempt with the ball being that far inside.
And Oklahoma's second in the SEC in stolen bases this year. Reggie Willits is offensive coordinator over there. Sooners like to steal. Easton Carmichael, the batter. A little bit too tall for Carmichael.
Yeah, Carmichael's been the key to this offense all year long. You know, leading the team with hits, 63 hits, 13 home runs, and 52 RBIs. You know, he's the catalyst for this offense.
10 of 12 in the stolen base department for Trey Gamble this year. Sooners have stolen 104 as a team. And that one called a strike at the letters. pulled foul. No Will Gasparino in the Texas lineup tonight. Tony is available. But Tommy Farmer before getting to start out in center field where Gasparino typically play. Would imagine we'll see him at some point tonight or later on in the tournament. But Gasparino is available.
Yeah,
Jonah Williams in left, and with Ballou coming back, he plays right field.
Yeah, it must be a nice problem to have when you have a player of that caliber, you know, fighting for positions in a four-person outfield.
2 balls and 2 strikes here to Easton Carmichael. Just having a really good year. Leading Oklahoma, 13 home runs, 52 runs driven in. Skip Johnson said just have quality at bats. It's almost as though everybody expects that he's going to come through every time he comes up. And he just needs to be himself.
Yeah, and he's been consistent all year. You know, as a hitter, you got to be able to, you know, put the last pitch behind you. You know, play in the present. You can't control the future, and you can't control what's already happened. So you got to be able to attack the zone each pitch.
Popped up on the infield. Second baseman Rodriguez has it for the first out. If you're K. Bing, you'll certainly take that.
Yeah, anytime you can retire Carmichael, it's a plus.
One on and one out, and the batter will be Sam Christensen. Christensen getting the start out in right field tonight. Oklahoma's used a few different right fielders this year. Christensen has seen the bulk of the duties out there. Oklahoma still without their regular first baseman, Dayton Taki. He's been able to take batting practice. In fact, took batting practice with the team today. He's still kind of hobbling around a little bit. It's Dayton Taki. This one is rifled toward the left fielder, Williams, who backs up, reaches up, and puts it away for the second out. Yeah. Sam Christensen hit that ball hard.
Really good swing by Christensen there, going the opposite field. Off the bat, I thought it might get over Jonah Williams' head out there, but you know, he played it perfect, casual, but that ball was well struck.
Just to kind of wrap it up on Dayton Taki. See if we see him at some point in the series, but Taki's been out since April the 24th. He got hurt sliding on a play. There he is, 16, standing kind of on the back step of the dugout. Bouncing around today and taking batting practice, but not in the lineup. Up through the middle by Jackson Willits. Gamble races for third, and Oklahoma trying to mount a 2-out rally in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, good piece of hitting by Willits here. Just drives the ball back up the middle, and Christensen being aggressive, going first to third with 2 outs.
It's a big chance here early for Oklahoma center fielder Jason Walk.
Yeah, Walk coming up to the Billy Squire.
The stroke by Billy Squire.
Yeah. Can't remember the player's name from Tennessee last year that came up to that same song.
It's catching on. Walk has a look at that one. Did they do walk-up music when you were playing, Rich? Not to date you too much. They did
a little bit towards the end of my career at OU. Of course, in pro ball, they always did.
Even in the minor leagues?
Yeah.
All those ballparks?
Yeah.
Wow. As Walk hits this one foul back to the back screen. Jason Walk, top 5 in the SEC in stolen bases and triples. And he is second on this Oklahoma team in extra base hits, as a matter of fact. 22 of them.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me the way he can run.
So 7 home runs as well. He's got that power potential. That one bounds away from Galvan, and Gamble will score the first run on a wild pitch by K. Bing in the first inning.
Yeah, that's a freebie there for Oklahoma. You know, this ball in the dirt. Galvan couldn't get enough of it to keep it in front. See it right here. looked like a breaking ball, kind of bounced out towards the middle of the plate.
That also moves Willits into scoring position and a 2-1 count on walk. Last couple have really gotten away from Cade Bing. That's the first wild pitch, beg your pardon, 7th wild pitch thrown by Bing this year. Ground ball to third, up with it is Borba, and the inning is over. But the Sooners strike first in this 3-game series. Wild pitch scores Trey Gamble, and it's 1-0 Oklahoma headed to the second. Top of Texas, the Sooners getting a run on a hit in the bottom of the first inning. Final weekend of the regular season, last couple of weeks to display what you're made of for the NCAA tournament committee, but the Longhorns, they don't have much work to do. Could be the top overall seed when it's all said and done. Going to be a national seed, host the regional and super regional rounds, and Rich, tonight they could add an SEC championship to that already impressive resume.
Yeah, especially being the first year in the SEC, and it's a grind. You know, other than Missouri, every team has been very competitive. It seems like there's a little bit of break from there's like a little top pack, and then there's the middle pack, and then a couple teams at the bottom. But day in and day out in this league is difficult.
Texas 20-3 in non-conference games. Lost on opening day and then won 17 straight. Their longest winning streak in 15 years. This pitch fouled off by Jalen Flores. You're so right about the grind of the SEC. And the team that comes out on top next week in Hoover is going to be the SEC champion as far as the NCAA tournament committee is concerned. But that's a single elimination event, and games can go one way or the other. To win the regular season, man, that is a grind.
Yeah,
Texas has a chance to do it by multiple games as well.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, you know, it's difficult. I always, you know, give more credit to the regular season champion because it's, you know, like you said, it's a single elimination tournament. But even in some of the double elimination tournaments like the Big 12 and like that, but I think winning the regular season to me is more impressive.
1-2 here to Jalen Flores. Lifted into left center field. The shortstop Willits called off by the left fielder Trey Gamble. And it's 4 up and 4 down for Kyson Witherspoon at this point. Good communication. It was almost in the Bermuda Triangle out there.
Yeah, Willits was waving him off, but obviously Gamble did a good job of using his voice and calling Willits off so they didn't have a collision out there.
So far, so good for Kyson Witherspoon. Leads the SEC in so many things. Innings pitched now. 78 1/3 innings pitched. Most in the conference. And he faces second baseman Adrian Rodriguez, left-handed hitter. Malachi Witherspoon, Kyson's twin brother, scheduled to pitch game number 3 on Saturday for the Sooners. As you look at Rodriguez, good freshman year for him. Flower Mound, Summer Creek High School. Having to come back from an injury. He's riding an 11-game hitting streak coming into the night. Waved that and missed.
Yeah, 96 and up in the zone's not what you want to be swinging at as a batter. That's tough to catch up to.
So Rodriguez missed 7 games with a hand injury. Went out about the same time as Max Ballou did. His injury not as severe as Ballou's. He missed only 7 games, but he will only hit left-handed. He's a switch hitter. Natural lefty, and he went around on that. Gets rung up by Kevin Sweeney, the plate umpire. Second strikeout for Kyson Witherspoon, who's going 5 up and 5 down to start this game.
Just a fastball, this arm side run going away from Rodriguez there, and he just couldn't hold up.
.106 strikeouts for Kyson Witherspoon this year. He goes to work against Kimball Schusler. First pitch is upstairs to Schuessler. Nope, called a strike. High strike being called. That's the second time really a strike. I think Carmichael had one called against him up around the top part of the letters.
Yeah, you don't see that called very often in today's baseball.
Would you rather it be called?
Yeah, I mean, it's the strike zone.
This one shot through the right side by Schuessler. So he goes to the opposite field for a 2-out single. It's the first hit of the night for the Longhorns.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there. He just drove that ball the other way. Lets the ball travel, sees it good, and that's another fastball that was just called a strike in the top part of the zone. He gets on top of it. But going back to the strike zone, I mean, you're taught from when you're a kid, you know, it's the knees to the, to the bottom of the chest, and they say it's almost easier to hit in the big leagues than it is the minor leagues or college because the zones are so much smaller.
Casey Borbin now. Longhorns have their first base runner. Borbin, sophomore from Santa Ana, California. He's really moved in at that third base spot. Got off to a good start. 5 homers in his first 67 at-bats. One 0 went after that one. Well, that pitch right there from Kyson Witherspoon.
When that slider is working like that, you just got to pick and choose, or try to sit fastball and hope you don't miss it. If he gets to that pitch, it's really tough.
Borbo whacks this one foul toward the seats over on the first base side. Got a standing room only crowd up on the mezzanine here at Elldale Mitchell Park. Section 405 looks like it's about half full. There you get a good look on just a beautiful night. I mean, no wind. It was 94, 95 degrees in the Norman area yesterday, but not too bad today. Only in the mid-80s. Strike 3 call. Third strikeout for Kyson Witherspoon. Longhorns get their first hit of the night, but leave that base runner out there. Sooners leading it 1-0. Kyson Witherspoon is up to his old All-American tricks already with 3 strikeouts, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, you see it right here. That slider's got so much depth and break on it. He keeps doing that, he's going to pitch a long way into this game.
To the NCAA Regional, winning the Big 12 regular season title on their way out last year. RPI of 27, strength of schedule is 44. You see 8 wins against the RPI top 50, and D1 Baseball has them as a 3 seed coming into the weekend. And still a chance to pad that resume. You get a win, 2 or 3 over a team like Texas. I mean, we're talking about Oklahoma, Rich, a week, 2 weeks ago being a potential host.
Yeah.
Not out of the realm of possibility, but they could certainly use a couple of wins this weekend.
Yeah, and I think a couple wins this weekend, and maybe need a couple in the tournament to still have a chance to host.
Scott Mudler is in. Been a difference maker for Oklahoma in that DH spot. Missed some time with injury. Good, powerful left-handed bat. Pops this one up. Out toward left field it goes. Shortstop Jalen Flores is out, but looks like Jonah Williams will take care of it for the first out here in the second inning. Skip Johnson talking about, each weekend is like an NCAA super regional. It's a best-of-3 situation. And this Oklahoma team, they were 4-1 last year against ranked teams. This year they're 8-10. Just playing in the SEC, they've played 13 more games against ranked teams. And he is so big on just take care of what you can, each pitch, each play, and you'll sleep better at night.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Pitch to pitch. Skip talks about it all the time, but as a hitter too, pitch to pitch, play to play. As an infielder, outfielder, you're playing each pitch, with the utmost intensity. He
said it's like being at the circus. Don't be distracted by all the other histrionics, you know, what the clowns are up to. Just focus on what's really going on. Of course, Skip, the longtime pitching coach for the legendary Hall of Fame coach Augie Garrido at Texas, still so grateful and learned so much from Coach Garrido during his time on the 40 acres.
Yeah, Coach Garrido was special. He's intense. He recruited me to Cal State Fullerton when he was out there, and they had Phil Nevin at shortstop. They wanted me to redshirt and live at home, and I wanted to play. Ended up coming to OU, and things worked out.
So you're saying that the Augie Garrido Fullerton shortstop situation is kind of what led you to come to Norman?
Yeah, and I was actually committed to go to junior college, Cypress Junior College in Southern California, before Larry Kochel recruited me that summer, so I didn't sign till late.
Those two coaches, Larry Kochel and Augie Garrido, national championship winning coaches.
Yeah, I wasn't going to play in front of the #1 pick overall.
Yeah, Phil Nevin, pretty good. Went on to have a good, lengthy big league career. As Mason Hamlin is in. Mason Hamlin has been super helpful to Oklahoma with the absence of Dayton Taki over there at first base. He's played a good first base and been a timely hitter as well. And Skip Johnson said he's just been aggressive. You know, you get an opportunity like this,
yeah, you got to take advantage of it. Yeah, you got, well said. You got to take advantage of your opportunities. You know, when you get your opportunity, you got to try to capitalize on it.
There's Taki over there looking on. You know that he would love to be in the lineup tonight. Texas getting Max Ballou back. Oklahoma would love to have Dayton Taki back at some point.
Yeah, and credit to Hamlin too for staying ready and being ready for the opportunity.
2-1 pitch is up and away. Of course, the big injury has been with this Texas pitching staff, and that's Jared Spencer, who came in from Indiana State. He was very good. 10 starts, had a 4-1 record, and then went down with shoulder injury. His twin brother Jacob still plays up there at Indiana State. There's a strike call, make it 3-2. Hamlin just getting a piece of that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty big swing for a 3-2 count.
Texas pitching staff leading the SEC in earned run average, 3.53. That's 5th nationally. And not just Jim Schlossnagle is the new head coach, but Max Wiener coming in as the pitching coach. He has lowered this Texas earned run average by about 1.5 runs per game over last year. Hamlin takes a 2-out walk. That'll be the third base runner of the game. All right, Rich, what do you think? You get to be K-zone.
Yeah, I wish I was computer-esque, but yeah, that ball's up and away. Yeah, that's definitely a ball. And you're talking about, you know, the ERA. They're also first in opposing batting average in the SEC with 217.
Yeah, that's getting it done.
Yeah.
Dawson Willis now for Oklahoma. Been scuffling at the plate. The Ruston, Louisiana junior. Came through LSU Eunice Division II JUCO, where he was the National Defensive Player of the Year last year. It's a program that has won 8 national titles. LSU Eunice at that level.
Yeah, and Dawson's been good this year. You know, really good defensively, like you were talking about, but he can also really run. He's tied with the team lead with 16 stolen bases with walk.
0-2, foul tip that's hung onto by Galvan. And the inning is over. First strikeout of the night for Cade Bing. 1-0 Sooners headed to the third. Season closing series at Elldale Mitchell Park in Norman. Alongside Rich Hills I'm Chad McKee, and Texas set to come to the plate with the super talented two-sport athlete Jonah Williams, early football enrollee who has also been very good for Jim Schlossnagel's baseball team. And with more on this super talented young athlete, here's Carly.
Chad, he's just 17 years old and the first two-sport athlete for the Longhorns in decades. He'll be a defensive back for Steve Sarkisian in the fall. He was a highly touted high school athlete, throwing 94 as a left-handed pitcher and one of the top center fielder prospects. He's transitioned really well to college baseball. Last weekend in Game 2 against Florida, he smashed a bases-clearing double to help the Horns win the game. He's just really earned some playing time as well with Max Blue out, but now he's back in and still getting to play, guys, because he's been so hot lately.
Yes, he has. He's going to be 18 in 2 days, wow. Rich. Can you imagine all that's on his plate these days?
Yeah, it's, early enroll. You miss him talking to some of their staff. He missed his prom. Playing. I mean, what an amazing athlete. Being almost like Kyler Murray. Top athlete out of Texas that played at OU and played some baseball too. But this kid is special. He's physically imposing and looks like he can do it all.
Oh, what a future. There's another, by the way, in the booth next to us, as this one is bounced toward Kyle Branch. It just does get the very speedy Jonah Williams. There's another former Texas two-sport star in the booth next to us. That's Keith Moreland.
Wow.
Played football and baseball for the Longhorns. Which went on to a long, good big league career.
Yeah.
Sonk, he's over there next door. Williams rounds out to start the third.
Back to Williams,
that is,
you see him getting down the line?
Oh, yeah, he's about 6'3", and I don't know what his 40 time is, 4'4", at worst. Here is Tommy Farmer IV, the center fielder tonight for the Longhorns. Once again, Will Gasparino not in the lineup for Texas. Got Max Ballou back in there. Tommy Farmer IV, sophomore from Santa Monica. Only career home run, 142nd career at bat, came against Texas A&M. Look at the range of Jackson Willits, but not able to throw out Farmer. And he's safe on an infield base hit. Second hit of the ballgame for the Longhorns.
Yeah, tough play for Willits. Good placement there by Farmer IV. Yeah, he has to range way to his left. On this play, I'd almost rather see him spin and throw than throw across his body like that, but I don't think either way he would have got him.
Back to the top for Ethan Mendoza. Hit a fly ball to the center fielder Jason Walk, his first time. Mendoza, the Arizona State transfer, lifelong Texas fan. Jim Schlossnagel says he's one of those lights on kind of the players.
Yeah, there are guys like that just gamers. Some guys take really impressive batting practice, but they can't do it in the game.
On the move is Farmer, and this pitch is swatted foul by Mendoza, so we'll do it all over again. Longhorns don't run a good deal, 55 stolen bases as a ball club. Farmer has stolen 6 in 11 tries, but that was a hit and run.
Yeah, it looked like it. Gambling on a fastball there and just fouled it off.
Bouncing ball through the right side, perfectly placed that time by Mendoza. Racing to third goes Farmer IV. He's there. Nearly slid past the bag and got tagged by Willis, but he was able to get a hand back there. Back-to-back singles by Farmer IV and Mendoza. And the Longhorns have the tying run at third.
Yeah, you see it right here, fastball away. He just pokes it through the 4-hole on the right side. Farmer IV, good job being aggressive. Like you said, he almost slid past the base. And Willis had the tag on him, but he just barely kept that fingertip on.
What an opportunity for the newly returned to the lineup Max Ballou here. Tying run at third, go ahead run at first against one of the best pitchers in the country. Guys, Witherspoon throws over to first. Ballou struck out his first time tonight.
Blue's looking for something to hit to the outfield here, stay away from the double play, and get a sac fly.
Witherspoon with a fastball 95 miles an hour for a strike to Blue. One of the things that separates Kyson Witherspoon from so many others, obviously physical talent, just gifted, is his ability to bear down in situations like this, move on to the next thing.
Yeah, he's a top of the line competitor. We've heard Skip Johnson talk about him several times, just about how competitive he really is. And every now and again, if he's not getting calls that he likes, he'll show up the home plate umpire a little bit.
0-2 misses away.
And a fastball, try to get him to chase.
Witherspoon has given 3 hits through the first inning and 2/3. Strike 3 called. Just a nasty off-speed pitch from Kyson Witherspoon.
There's that slider again we spoke about in the last 2 innings. Just frozen. That ball's got some depth on it. Starts up around the letters and ends up down by the knees. Really good pitch.
See the look on Ballew's face. He knew it. 4 strikeouts now. The Oklahoma right-hander.
Yeah, and I think he knew that was a big opportunity, like you were talking about before. For him to come through in a situation, tie this game up, or maybe do more.
So now the opportunity falls to Rylan Galvan. He grounded out to Dawson Willis at third base his first time tonight. Galvan, that really vocal, tough leader. Jim Schlossnagle, kind of the main leaders, veteran guys on this team are Flores at shortstop and Galvan, the catcher.
Trying to steal a run here.
And they've got the runner hung up. That's Mendoza between first and second. And the ball goes off Willitz's glove. In to score the tying run comes Farmer the fourth, and everybody will be safe. It's 1 apiece. Willits may have just taken his eye off that ball. It glanced off of his glove, and so both base runners will be safe.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Oklahoma. Had him in the rundown. They were it's a call to go early. The runner goes early and stops. But once you get him here, you got to just run him hard and get the out before the guy can score. And he just, like you said, he just missed that ball. That wasn't a bad feed for Hamlin there.
So the first Oklahoma error of the night ties this game at 1. It also moves the go-ahead run into scoring position in the person of Mendoza. And Carmichael's able to block that ball. Big chance here for Galvan. We're talking about Galvan and Flores. Jim Schlossnagle is fond of saying, there's never been a good team with a bad shortstop, and there's never been a good team with a bad catcher.
Yeah, that's where you want it, up the middle. Catcher, shortstop, center field.
Big swing and a miss there.
Baseball's been like that for a long time. If you're solid up the middle, you got a pretty good team.
Witherspoon trying to get Galvan to chase the zone, but the count goes to 2-2. Tommy Farmer the fourth with a base hit and a run scored out of the number 9 spot. Witherspoon's 2-2, just a little bit downstairs.
Galvan started at that pitch, able to hold up.
Ripped toward left field, but Gamble has a beat on it, and he chases it down for the final out. Galvan hit that ball hard, and the Longhorns tie it, a run on a hit and an error, and a man left, and it's one apiece headed to the bottom of the third. Foray into the SEC for these athletic departments. Not too shabby. Texas, some Big 12 championships, soccer, women's basketball, regular season, swimming and diving on both sides. Oklahoma away from us down at beautiful new Loves Field. They'll be hosting that starting tomorrow. 4 straight national championships for Oklahoma softball. This one smashed high and deep to right field, and it is high and hard and out of the yard from Trey Gamble. A leadoff blast to straightaway right field for the Oklahoma left fielder. It's his 4th home run of the year, and Oklahoma vaults back on top 2-1.
Gamble just ambushed a fastball right there and got all of it. He knew it right off the bat. He walked that ball off for about 4 or 5 steps before he started getting into his trot. Yeah, you see it right here. That's fastball middle in. He just gets all of it. And he knew it right away.
Rich, how does that feel when you know that it's touched?
Amazing. Especially with a wood bat. There's nothing better. When you square one, I mean, it almost feels like you didn't even hit the ball.
I'll never know. Easton Carmichael in. He popped up to the second baseman Rodriguez his first time. 57 home runs as a ball club for the Sooners. And as we said, for Trey Gamble, his 4th, his 23rd RBI. What do you think of Cade Bing so far in this start for the Longhorns? His first time against any SEC team.
Yeah, he hasn't been bad. I mean, he hit Gamble his first at bat and retired 6 in a row after that. And other than the home run and the base hit here, we'll see how he handles the pressure of a couple early hits and a run in this inning.
That one just under the glove of the diving third baseman Borba. Easton Carmichael has his first hit of the night.
And just another fastball middle in. Easton turns on it. Hard ground ball through the 6 hole. Said Borba made a good attempt at it, but just couldn't get any leather on it.
So a home run and a base hit. Oklahoma doing a little damage here in the third. Sam Christensen, the batter, he lined out to the left fielder Jonah Williams his first time. Christensen, a junior college transfer, came from South Mountain Community College in Phoenix. He's a native of Mesa, Arizona. It's a fly ball into shallow center field. Nice play by the shortstop Jalen Flores going out. He actually made that a fairly close play, throwing back in behind Carmichael at first base.
Yeah, Carmichael wasn't going full speed when coming back. Good job by Flores, spinning and making a good throw to first, but Carmichael was able to get back in there. First base coach Todd Butler was telling him to get down. He thought it was going to be a little closer than it was.
He was right. As it turned out, Carmichael got back in standing. Here's Jackson Willits. He had Oklahoma's first hit of the game. A base hit back in the first inning. Oklahoma eventually getting a run there. Trey Gamble scored on a wild pitch. Give Oklahoma a 1-0 lead. Then Farmer scored on an Oklahoma error to tie the game at 1 apiece, and Trey Gamble has given the Sooners the lead back with a home run. Easton Carmichael can run. 11 stolen bases. He's also got 3 triples. Catcher, that kind of speed. Up and in to Jackson Willits, the Oklahoma sophomore shortstop. Very good freshman season last year. Honorable mention All Big 12. He was on the All Big 12 tournament team last year as well. He hit 10 home runs after April the 5th.
Yeah, he got hot with the home runs after, during and after that OSU series last year.
His younger brother Eli, who's an Oklahoma signee, projected early first-round draft pick in the MLB draft. He was at the ballpark swinging the wood bat today. 2 balls and a strike here to Jackson. Little inside here to the Oklahoma shortstop. Longest outing of the year for Cade Bing, 6 1/3 innings. That was against Texas State. He actually went 6 1/3 no-hit innings in that game. Three-1 and strike 2 called. You like a story like Cade Bing's? Tommy John surgery in high school, kind of derails you a little bit, so you got to walk on to a junior college, and now here you are.
Yeah, and playing at one of the best programs in the country.
And Jim Schlossnagle said he pitches with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. In the air towards center, kind of shallow. Farmer the 4th ventures in and has plenty of real estate to chase that one down for the second out.
Now back to the center, number 1.
Jason Walk now for the Sooners. Jim Schlossnagle is out of the Texas dugout. Now he's calling for the pitching change. And we wondered how long that we would see Cade Bing go. And Jim Schlossnagle walks out there. He typically will make the pitching changes. Max Wiener, the pitching coach, will do the mound visits. So leaving here with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. And it'll be the bullpen for the rest of the night for the Longhorns. We'll tell you about the new Texas right-hander when we come back. So a relatively short night there for Cade Bing, Texas starter. Feels like a midweek type of game as the rest of this one will be handled by the Texas bullpen. Bing 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs with a walk and a strikeout. 52 pitches thrown. And the first out of the bullpen is going to be Grayson Saunier. 6'4", 220. He's a junior from Memphis and a transfer from Ole Miss. So a lot of SEC experience for Grayson Saunier. 23 games he pitched in 2 seasons at Ole Miss. Got a win in the Texas A&M series. Got a save in the Kentucky series. So just a guy that you like to have that has a ton of experience. You got a sub-4 ERA. And we'll just see how long he's able to go.
That's what Jim Schlossnagle's looking for, him to come in and eat up some innings and try to get him towards the back of that bullpen.
It's a deep bullpen for Texas. Expected starters will be Ruger Riojas in game 2, and then game 3 Luke Harrison. But they've also got Max Grubbs, who's been a very good pitcher. In fact, he was basically their ace a season ago for Texas. Honorable mention All Big 12, and we'll see him at some point. Just kind of depends on the situation. So here's Walk. He grounded out to Borba at 3rd, his first time up. Big hack at that one, 0-2. On the move goes Carmichael, head first dive, and he is tagged out by Flores, the shortstop. So Galvan throws out the Oklahoma catcher, Easton Carmichael, for the final out, Rich.
Yeah, that was a delay steal, looked like, by Carmichael. He just got a bad jump, wasn't able to get there.
Jalen Flores is set to come to the plate against the Oklahoma ace, Kyson Witherspoon. Kyson Witherspoon has given up 3 hits and the 1 run. Unearned run. Each team has 3 hits. Jalen Flores, the senior out of San Antonio. 8 home runs in SEC play. That one is fouled off his foot. This guy was second-team All-American last year. 18 home runs that he crashed after hitting just 175 the year before. What a jump he made last year.
Yeah, that's a huge jump. Yeah, and this Texas team, they hit a lot of home runs last year.
$18 doubles on the year for Flores. That's the second most in the SEC. He's a less vocal leader than maybe Galvan is, but his impact is felt nonetheless by this Texas team.
Yeah, a lot of guys just lead by example, hustling around the field, you know, doing things right, holding guys accountable.
Witherspoon ready with a 1-2. Lined foul into the Texas bullpen. What a story are the Witherspoon twins for Oklahoma. Twin brothers, and as Skip Johnson says, you know, the real story is their mom, Meg.
Yeah.
Raised them, said just to be incredible human beings. As the 1-2 misses in, it's so interesting to talk about the dynamic of identical twins pitching on the same staff. They pitched back-to-back days earlier in the season. And then the Sooners decided to put a pitcher in between the two. So in effect, you're not seeing a guy that looks the same.
Yeah.
And
because they have similar stuff.
You know, the bottom line, Rich, is we really don't know. Is that swung on and missed by Flores because it's unprecedented. I mean, you ask Skip Johnson, he's like, yeah, probably that's possible, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah. You see that slider again here. Flores just can't. I mean, that ball is just running away from him. Great hard break into the left-handed batter's box. Gets the swing and miss.
And they both say that they are far more nervous in the dugout when the other one is pitching than they are when they're out on the mound themselves.
Yeah, for each other, I'm sure.
Adrian Rodriguez here for the Longhorns. Malachi Witherspoon was drafted in 2022 in the 12th round by the Diamondbacks. And, you know, no contract was reached. They decided to go to Northwest Florida State College, Niceville, Florida. And then Reggie Willits was really the first from the Oklahoma staff to make contact. And he said he just knew they were different from the get-go.
Yeah, a lot of times you can tell just from, you know, talking with a kid, you know, their, you know, just the confidence they speak with, you know, and their confidence in their abilities, you know, and obviously not braggadocious by any means, but these guys expect to do well and they have the talent to do it.
1-1 pitch coming here to Rodriguez, down and in. They have a chance to be the 11th set of twin brothers to make the major leagues. And Kyson's going to be an early first-round pick. Malachi will be picked a little later. But Oklahoma, it would be 2 sets of twins to reach the big leagues as Oklahomans, the minor brothers.
Yep.
Ryan and Damon, of course. As this one is lined off the glove of Hamlin. Down the right field line, Rodriguez chugging for second base. Up with it is Christensen. And it's a lined double into the right field corner by Adrian Rodriguez. The Longhorns put the tying run into scoring position here in the 4th.
Yeah, another good piece of hitting by Adrian Rodriguez here. That slider just hung up a little bit on the inner half. Good job. Lines it over the head of Hamlin down into the right field corner. Ends up with a double.
Double number 11 for Rodriguez on the year. This Texas offense responds after Oklahoma had taken the lead on the Gamble homer. There's Kimball Schusler, had a base hit into right field his first time. Rolls this one to short. Willits, lone play is going to be over to first. It pulled Hamlin off the bag, but he kept his foot on there long enough. And The first base umpire, William Van Raphorst, was right on top of it. We'll see if the Longhorns want to challenge.
Looks like they are.
Texas is challenging the call at first base.
Yeah, I thought for a second there Willits might go to third with the runner right in front of him. But he kind of took a little bit too long on the transfer and throw.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's Michael Cantu, by the way, the former Longhorns catcher who's the first base coach.
View down the first base line might be better. Yeah, it looks like he's off there to me.
Yeah, I think that one's going to get overturned.
And if so, that'd be another error on Willits.
Yeah, good throw gets him.
Well, he catches the ball, pats his glove a couple times. As a shortstop, you like to just catch one shuffle throw. The longer you hold that ball, the tougher it is to make a good throw over there. From guys hustling down the first base line. I was always taught just catch it, get rid of it. That way you don't have to use, especially in pro ball, playing so many more, 142 games in minor leagues.
The call on the field is out. Texas still has one challenge left.
So the call is confirmed. And Jim Schlossnagle loses his first of 2 challenges. It may just be inconclusive. Let's look one more time here, Rich. Ball in glove there.
Yeah, he may have had it. So, like I was saying, Willits still, I think, needs to get rid of the ball a little quicker to make that play not even close.
Rodriguez does advance to third on the putout, but it's 2 down. And here's Borba. Borba struck out his first time against Kyson Witherspoon.
A rabbit.
there's a bunny rabbit on the third base side. There he is.
Who's gonna be the guy to try to chase it? That's the question.
He's late for Easter.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Who gets duties?
Yeah.
On this guy. The answer is nobody. Nobody wants a part of Peter Cottontail.
One of the equipment guys, somebody's got to get down there and chase it off or something. He's thinking about it.
They race the pony mascots, Boomer and Sooner, in between innings. None of them want any part of this guy.
He's got to get him down towards the bullpen.
He's headed that way.
Yeah, he's on his own. There's an opening right there. Nice.
So cooperative.
I was really hoping to see somebody try to chase him down. Or at least try to corner him.
Now, you think anybody's going to go over there and pick him up or attend to him?
Now
I'm concerned about the well-being.
They're just going to leave him over there on the practice field or in one of those bushes down there.
I want to know if they close that gate there. 1-2. Now the count to Borba. They have closed the gate. I think the Sooners may have a new pet, a new mascot. Ball and 2 strikes to Casey Borba. Got him swinging. Second strikeout in the inning for Kyson Witherspoon. He's got it going, in particular with that slider, which has been too tough to touch tonight.
Yeah, just another really good slider by Witherspoon there.
6 strikeouts for Kyson Witherspoon. His Sooners lead it 2-1, headed to the bottom of the 4th. 2-1 Oklahoma on top, and the Sooners will come to the plate in the bottom of the 4th inning as we welcome you back to Elkdale Mitchell Park in Norman. Regular season coming to a close. Could not ask for a better way to close it than the Red River rivalry in Norman, all 3 games of this series. And then we get to do it all over again in Hoover at the Met beginning on Tuesday. Texas can clinch at least a share of the regular season title with either a win tonight or a loss by Arkansas. And for Oklahoma at stake, they would still have a shot to be one of the seeds 5 through 8, which would get you an opening round bye. Seeds 1 through 4, you don't have to play the first 2 rounds, and Texas is assured of that. They don't have to play till the quarterfinals. Jason Walk, the batter, he was at the plate when Easton Carmichael was caught stealing at second base. Walk grounded out to Borba at third, his first time tonight. Saunier down and low. Grayson Saunier came on in relief of the Longhorns starting pitcher Cade Bing tonight. Three balls and a strike now to Walk. Walk dangerous when he gets on.
Yeah, and has good power for his size. Got 7 home runs, and he's in a plus count right here, hunting a fastball.
There's a strike over the outside edge. Walk it, drop the bat, starting to take his glove off, and then kind of turns and I think maybe says sorry about that, Blue, to Kevin Sweeney as the Longhorns shift. Swing and a miss. It's a strikeout. So no walk, instead a punch out to start things in the 4th. It's the first out of a batter recorded by Saunier since he came in.
Yeah, just a good pitch right there. A little movement on the fastball. Walk swings under it. I just thought it probably gonna have a little more sink to it.
Here's the Oklahoma DH, Scott Mudler, popped up to Jonah Williams out in left field his first time. Mudler came along with the Witherspoon brothers from Northwest Florida State College. They were all 3 on that team that went to the JUCO World Series. (1-0) misses down and in. Mudler missed a little bit of time with a sore shoulder during the month of March, but he has had some big hits for Oklahoma. Sometimes with the start that Oklahoma got off to, you fail to keep in mind just how really inexperienced they are at this level, Rich. You know, they are brand new starters this year at first base, second base, third base, and both corner outfield spots.
Yeah, they lost a lot of good players. I mean, Walk, you know, played quite a bit in center, like you were saying, but
Mudler rolls this one to the second baseman, Rodriguez. 2 gone. But John Spikerman was the regular center fielder for Oklahoma.
He was out, hurt. And you lose, like I said, right and left fielder. They're both very productive offensively.
Base is empty, 2 down, and Kyle Branch will be the batter. Kyle Branch, talk about the newness to this Oklahoma team. Branch has been very good from day number 1, coming in as a true freshman.
Yeah, they knew he was going to be really good defensively, but I think his offensive numbers actually surprised the staff a little bit.
Brother Colby plays at Georgia. These two got to play against each other about 3 weekends ago. The 0-1 misses a little bit in. Georgia, by the way, hosting Texas A&M tonight amongst the other action around the SEC. 1-1 is bounced toward the shortstop. Flores guns it across. 1-2-3 go the Sooners in the fourth. 2-1 Oklahoma on top, moving to the fifth in game one of this series in Norman. 2-1 Sooners on top, moving on to the fifth inning in this series opener. You see Texas 19-2, just a blistering start to conference play. 1-5 in their last couple of series. Tough one to lose on senior day at home. Jim Schlossnagle very disappointed in that one. Closed things last weekend. Met with the leadership group on this Texas roster. Jonah Williams, Tommy Farmer the fourth, and then Ethan Mendoza is set to come up here third in the inning. Jonah Williams grounded out to Kyle Branch, the second baseman, his first time, and made the play close at first base.
Yeah. Impressive. I mean, you just look at him. So athletic.
This one rolled foul. 1-1 the count. Kyson Witherspoon, 57 pitches so far. When you watch him, you just become accustomed to him doing this.
Yeah.
But you think about it. I mean, the rest of the pitching staff, the other two starters, were not starters at Oklahoma last year. I mean, that's a lot on his shoulders.
Yeah. And really, I mean, he had an opportunity to get 2 other wins. You know, he got outdueled by Pico Khan and LSU's Friday night guy. And those, I mean, he threw well enough to win those games.
Two balls and a strike here. Malachi Witherspoon was a bullpen pitcher last year. In fact, he led Oklahoma in saves, did Kyson's twin brother Malachi. So Malachi's really going through all of this for the first time, being a starter facing SEC teams. And just moving on to pitch, being a starter.
Yeah, different routines.
2-2 hit pretty well to straightaway center field. Walk got turned around, but was athletic enough to swivel his hips and pull that one in. Well, you've got a safety in football right there. Jonah Williams, this is a pretty good turn. Looked like a defensive back out in center field and walk.
Good change of direction right there off the bat. As good as Jonah Williams hit that ball, I thought it was getting over his head. You see it right here. He kind of breaks the wrong way and turns back around and makes it look easy.
Could you move your hips like that, Rich?
Probably not. I mean, I was pretty quick, though. I mean, had really good hands on the infield, but I couldn't run like either of those two guys, that's for sure.
Here's Tommy Farmer the fourth. He scored the Longhorns run back in the third. Got on board with one away, advanced to third, and then scored when the Sooners couldn't complete a rundown in between first and second base. Farmer was down at third base, and when the ball got off the glove of the Oklahoma shortstop Jackson Willits, Farmer raced in with what was at the time the tying run. 1-1 count to it.
Yeah, definitely a play Willits would like to have back for sure.
Hit foul, out of play, so the count 1-2 now on Tommy Farmer the fourth. Only 16 games last year for Farmer in his freshman season in Texas. Bigger part of things, of course, with the injury to Ballou. That opened up a little more playing time out in the outfield. This is his 45th start. And he shoots this one sky high into shallow left. The shortstop Willits is out, but Trey Gamble calls off everybody, and the inning is over. Or I should say that's the second out. That'll bring Ethan Mendoza to the plate. Mendoza had a base hit back in the third inning, and Carly has more on the Longhorns DH.
Coach Schlossnagle has really worked with Ethan Mendoza on his approach at the plate. Last year, he was a freshman at Arizona State. He was making great contact, but he wasn't very patient. He walked in less than 6% of his at-bats. Mendoza would give away plate appearances without seeing a pitch that he could put into play. So the Longhorn staff devised a plan and required Mendoza to take a strike before he could swing. Since then, he's made great contact, had quality at-bats, and has been a big contributor to the Longhorns offense.
Thank you, Carly. Take a pitch. Rich, were you ever a guy that just said, you know what, for a while to try to get on track, I'm just going to take the first one?
Yeah, I have. You know, as I got better, you kind of lull guys to sleep, first couple games of a series, take. Then maybe that third or fourth game, because there was a time in the Big Eight we played 4 games, played double headers on Saturdays. But take the first pitch, and then that last game, try to ambush somebody on first pitch fastball, since they've seen you take so many first pitches in the series.
But that is not new to Jim Schlossnagle coach teams. They've led the nation multiple times in a row, going back to his days at TCU and then Texas A&M. And this Texas team leads the country in pitches per at bat, 4.09. That's just ahead of Oklahoma. In fact, Oklahoma is well over 4 pitches seen per at bat. Man, that pitch was close right there.
Yeah, that looked pretty good. But you're talking about, that's how you get into bullpens. You run starters off a mound and you get their pitch counts up and get into a bullpen and let your offense work.
3 balls and a strike to Mendoza. Slow roller. Willits has to circle it. Guns it across beautifully. And the inning is over. 5 in a row retired by Tyson Witherspoon. Midway through this one, Oklahoma leads Texas 2-1. Mets, Hoover Metropolitan Stadium. 16 teams. Everybody gets a chance. Single elimination. And Texas already into that double bye round. They'll be one of the top 4 seeds. Oklahoma would play on opening night if the tournament started today. But they have a chance this weekend to play into one of those 5 through 8 seeds and get themselves a night off. You played at the Met.
I did.
In the minor leagues.
Yeah. AA 1997 with the Mobile Bay Bears, played the Birmingham Barons.
Not when Michael Jordan was a Birmingham Baron.
No, definitely not. One of my former teammates was with the Barons at the time. It was Jerry Whitaker was an outfielder for us my freshman through junior year.
That ball comes up and in and hits Mason Hamlin to start the 5th inning. So that's the first base runner that Saunier has allowed since he came in.
See it right here. His fastball gets away from him. Hamlin does a good job hanging in there using the elbow guard.
Third time in 5 innings, the leadoff man has reached base for Oklahoma, including the leadoff home run by Trey Gamble back in the 3rd, which right now is the difference. Here's Dawson Willis, struck out his first time. Ground ball to short. Flores flips it to Rodriguez. Throw is low to first. And that's a great job by Galvan, running all the way from behind home plate to pick up that errant throw.
That's great hustle. Still thought Willis could have made it to second, but I guess he didn't realize the ball was thrown away in time. You see right here. Good flip from Flores to Rodriguez. Throws offline and just gets away from him.
So Willis is safe at first. Longhorns couldn't quite roll that one over. Back to the top of the order for Gamble. He has scored both Oklahoma runs. Scored on a wild pitch in the 1st and then hit a solo home run. A towering shot to right field back in the 3rd. Up and in. Let's look again at what Gamble did to start the 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, it's that fastball up, and he hammered it.
And it is hot.
He knew it right away.
Straightaway right field for the Oklahoma left fielder. It's his 4th home run of the year. There goes Willis. Head first dive, and he is safe. Well, Galvan threw out Easton Carmichael earlier in this game, but not this time on the very speedy Dawson Willis, his 17th stolen base of the year to lead this Oklahoma team.
Yeah, and Galvan throws this one from his knees. Probably couldn't get as much on it as he probably would have liked to if he was up in a better stance. You see Willis get under the tag right there. Good job hanging on to the bag.
Yeah, that was close as it turned out. And as this turns out, the stolen base will keep Oklahoma from hitting into a double play, because that ground ball would surely have been tailor-made off the bat of Gamble. Instead, Willis is down at third base with 2 outs. Here's Easton Carmichael. Had a base hit back in the third. He's 1 for 2 on the night. Easton Carmichael. We mentioned Scott Mudler and him missing some time with injury. And just to make sure that Mudler stays healthy, he has not caught as much this year. Carmichael last year DH'd a good bit, but this year he's done more catching, been really locked in, improved back there behind the plate.
Yeah, he did a lot of that over the summer in the Cape Cod League.
MVP of the All-Star game in the Cape Cod League. That's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's definitely the premier summer league. Played up there with the Wareham Gatemen. Made the All-Star team, but I wasn't the MVP. Matter of fact, I don't even remember who was, to be honest with you.
That one called a strike. They said Carmichael went around. What'd you say the name of the team was?
Wareham Gatemen.
Gatemen?
Gatemen, yep.
Like a gate? Like where's the gate?
I don't know. Never really did any research on the name or the mascot, or
maybe it was
where they came up with it.
Like the gate that allowed the bunny to escape the field a while ago. Everybody needs a gate man.
It's at the bottom of Cape Cod. Maybe because it may be the gateway to Cape Cod. I don't know. That'd be my only guess.
Okay. There's Willis at third with 2 outs. Three and 2. So Carmichael battles his way back from 2 strikes. Into right center field. Ballou and Farmer converge, but they won't get there. Easton Carmichael rings a double into right center field. And the Sooners take a 3-1 lead in the 5th.
Like you said, good job working his way back into that count. 3-2 pitch. Drives it into right center field, picks up a 2-out RBI. That's huge for Easton Carmichael. You see the pitch here. It's just a fastball middle. Does a good job letting it travel. Gets it deep, drives it to right center. Nobody has a play on it. For a second, I thought Carmichael might try to get another triple out of that, but he slowed up a second.
He has 3 triples on the year. Instead, stops with his 9th double. RBI 53 for Carmichael. 3-1 Sooners, and Sam Christensen the batter with 2 down. And Rich, it's a subtle thing, but we talk about stolen bases for Oklahoma. And Willis's ability to just swipe a base kept him out of a double play. This inning would have been over on that ground ball by Gamble.
Yeah, his ability to get down the line, beat the double play ball, and steal second, and get in the scoring position with 2 outs, like you said.
Sam Christensen 0 for 2. He has lined to left and popped up to the shortstop Flores. A ball and 2 strikes now. See how long Saunier goes. Taking over for the starter tonight, Cade Bing. And 2-2 now.
Good take by Christensen. The ball's borderline black. That's why he's got so many walks. He's good at separating balls and strikes.
43 of them, third most in the SEC. Swing and a miss. Just runs a fastball by Christensen for the final out, but Oklahoma gets another run on an RBI double by Easton Carmichael. 3-1 Sooners headed to the 6th. 5 innings pitched for Kyson Witherspoon, pursuing his 10th win of the year. 4 hits. He's given up 1 unearned run, Rich, and 6 strikeouts. What have you thought so far?
Yeah, he's been good, especially with his slider.
Strike 3
You know,
call.
got 2 or 3 strikeouts on of his 6 on that slider, and it's been filthy today. And I'm sure Skip's hoping he can get at least 1 or 2 more out of him.
Yeah, that slider so far tonight, it has been the primary strikeout pitch for Kyson Witherspoon. Set to go to work against Ballou, Galvan, and Flores. 2, 3, and 4 in the Longhorns lineup. Max Ballou making his return after missing 26 games, injuring his thumb, making a diving play. It should be noted he hung on and did make the catch on that play in which he was injured in the Missouri series. Alito, Texas Jr. Two strikeouts tonight, though, against Witherspoon.
That's pretty tough. Your first game back, you're coming to face one of the top pitchers in the SEC.
Trying to bunt at that one. Did get a piece of it, but it's hung on to by Carmichael. Two balls and 2 strikes now. Over 100 years, 200 games between these two teams.
First meeting 1910.
1910. Check swing, foul ball.
And that slider right there has gotten Ballou a couple times already this game. Just trying to find a way to battle with 2 strikes. Find a way to get on.
Yeah, that foul ball is already a better result than what he's had the first 2 times against that pitch. Pulled foul outside of first base. So it stays at 2-2. Longhorns 4 hits. Got that run pushed across Tommy Farmer, the 4th, scoring on an error in the 3rd. Had a chance in the 4th after Rodriguez's double. But Witherspoon has now retired 5 in a row. Did he go around? Foul tip, says the plate umpire Kevin Sweeney, and Carmichael hangs on. It's a strikeout, 3rd time Ballou has struck out against Witherspoon.
Welcome back. Just a probably looking slider, fastball, just couldn't hold up in the zone. Tipped it. I thought he went around anyway.
7 strikeouts for Kyson Witherspoon. 111 strikeouts, 19 walks total.
Amazing.
And here's Rylan Galvan.
That's what good pitchers do. They don't walk a lot of guys. When you have overpowering stuff like Kyson Witherspoon does, it makes a good recipe for getting a lot of wins. That one in there for a called strike. It's been talked about quite a bit, but
The Witherspoon twins, in between their junior and senior years of high school, they just took it upon themselves to gain some weight, get in the weight room, work, and try to get to the next level. And they both gained weight, 10, 15 pounds apiece.
Stronger.
Gained about 5 or 6 miles per hour on that fastball.
More velo. Yeah, they both running up there upper 90s.
Malachi watches Kyson. Two and two. Good take there by Galvan. Rylan Galvan was coached in high school by Adrian Alanis, who was on Texas's national championship team in 2005. And Galvan's brother, Rene, plays at UTRGV. Full count. Galvan kind of bouncing around up there as that pitch comes across. In fact, the last couple. Good eye, though. 42 walks for Galvan, in addition to 14 home runs. Went around there, though. So Witherspoon with 8 strikeouts. Back-to-back of Ballou and Galvan in the middle of the lineup to start the 6th.
He gets 1, 2, 3 here. You see the pitch. Slider away. Not able to hold up, but Witherspoon goes 1, 2, 3 here. He has a decent inning in the 7th. He might throw 8. Because he started this inning, I think, with 70 pitches. I think he's up to 82 now.
You are right on the number. Bunt shown here by Flores with 2 outs and nobody on. He's 0 for 2. He's flied to left and struck out looking.
He's just taking a strike.
Flores trying to work his way aboard any way possible. 1 and 2. Fastball on the inner half there. Tyson Witherspoon pitched in the series between these teams last year here in Norman. 2nd straight year that Texas has visited L-Dale Mitchell Park. Final year in the Big 12 and the first year of the SEC. He went 5 1/3 innings. Texas, though, won the game 8-6. 1-2 to short. Jackson Willits pumps. 1-2-3 inning by Witherspoon. His 2nd in a row. He's retired 8 straight Longhorns. And the Sooners lead at 3-1, headed to the bottom of the 6th inning on SEC Network Plus. Back alongside former Oklahoma star Rich Hills, I'm Chad McKee. Here's a look at it. It's been a good one. Each team with 4 hits. The biggest plays, the home run by Trey Gamble that gave Oklahoma a 2-1 lead. That was in the 3rd, and then the RBI double by Easton Carmichael. Open things up a little bit. Kyson Witherspoon has been the All-American that he has been all season long. 6 innings, no earned runs, 8 strikeouts, and no walks for the stellar Sooner right-hander. Grayson Saunier back out to the bump for the Longhorns. They'll face Jackson Willits. Willits had a base hit to center field his first time and then flied to center field in his 2nd at bat. One-0 is in there for a called strike. Of course, Jackson's dad, Reggie, is the assistant offensive coordinator for this Oklahoma team. It is a very Oklahoma-rich staff, former Oklahoma players.
Yeah, I coach both of them, Reggie and Russell Raley.
So you got Reggie over there, you got Russell Raley. You did not coach Todd Butler,
I did not know. He played a few years before I did. Still has a stolen base record, I believe.
He does. Todd Butler, the Oklahoma single-season stolen base record, 46.
That's amazing.
In 1988. There's Russell Raley, who coaches down at third. Todd Butler, the first base coach for the Sooners. Longhorns going to shift here with a 3-1 count. They jog Borba, the third baseman, over near second base. Shift Rodriguez a little further out toward right field. Pulled fair, just over the bag. And Schussler takes care of Willits to start. It's not as easy, I don't think, to tell fair or foul with that extra base over there, is it?
Yeah. I think it makes it a little more difficult, like you were saying.
I mean, how do you tell? It's going over two bags at the same time, and you got to tell. If it's over the green bag, it's foul.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's easier. I don't know. That's why I don't umpire. Well, just from up here in this broadcast spot.
We're good from up here.
Absolutely. Haven't missed a pitch in 25 years. Jason Walk now. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Do love the centralized replay review that the SEC has.
Yeah, and the umpires have microphones. You know, last season, you just didn't know, have an explanation or anything. It's either upheld or not.
Turns and drives this one to right, foul. Plus, you avoid that really odd-looking, uncomfortable jog by the umpires from the field over to the replay area where they're kind of running, kind of not running. Just very awkward. Galvan and play umpire Kevin Sweeney having a chat about that foul ball. Jason Walk has grounded to third and struck out tonight. Goes the opposite way with this one. Out into the Sooner bullpen. Skip Johnson's laboratory out there. Saunier deals. Walk hits this one pretty well out toward left center field, but chased down by Tommy Farmer the fourth for out number 2. Got some guys who can run a little bit out in these outfields. Yeah, Williams and Farmer out there in left and center field for the Horns.
Yeah, Farmer just cruising on that one. Off the bat, I thought it might get in the gap. Like a gazelle out there. Big, long strides.
Williams is probably over there saying, I got this if you don't. Here's Scott Mudler for the Sooners. Base is empty, 2 gone. You know, these two teams not used to playing with no wind at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the flags are pointing straight down.
Yeah, the wind is blowing straight down. Very unusual this time of year.
And this ballpark is so heavily impacted by the winds. Straight south, they're straight out to left. When it's out of the north, they are straight into home.
Yeah.
But it is nothing tonight.
Yeah, like you said in the open, the weather is beautiful.
Looks like a painting. Mudler foul tips this one. 0-2 to the Oklahoma DH. Mudler is one of those guys, you know, the ruling that happened was actually in the middle of the college basketball season. And it involved Diego Pavia, the Vanderbilt quarterback this year, where they essentially gave all former junior college players another year of Division I eligibility. Has made it interesting for a lot of these guys who went to a junior college. As Butler swats this one foul.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
It's made it a little more challenging for baseball staffs to figure out what the roster is going to look like.
Yeah. And especially the in-between guy, somebody that's not, you know they're going to go in the draft. You're going to lose those guys, but the middle of the lineup guys that have an extra year, you don't know if they're going to stay or take the extra year.
And with NIL these days, a guy could come back to school, get paid a little bit of money instead of going off to the minors.
Get a year towards your masters,
And Rich, you played in the minor leagues.
Yeah, it's a grind.
These Division I programs, their facilities, trainers, and coaching, it's
a step
better.
down. It's a step down for sure. I mean, there's a lot more nicer minor league parks now than when I played, but you're not getting all the gear, all the cleats, unless you're a higher pick or have a decent agent who can even get you your own bats. You got to use bats supplied by the organization.
One-two swung on, foul tip, hung on to back there by Galvan. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Saunier. He pitches the Longhorns through the 6th inning. Saunier looking good coming out of the bullpen, Rich.
Yeah, he's kind of settled things down. See the strikeout here. Just yeah, it looked like a forkball or changeup. Bottom just fell out of it. Weller swings over the top of it.
Top as we hit the top of the 7th inning. Sooners have a home run from Trey Gamble and an RBI double from Easton Carmichael. And they have one of the best pitchers in the country who has looked like it tonight, Kyson Witherspoon. He has retired 8 straight Longhorns, and he has 8 strikeouts in this game. He goes to work here against Adrian Rodriguez, who doubled back in the 4th inning, one of the 4 Texas hits. Rodriguez 1 for 2. He also struck out back in the 2nd. One and one. Kyson Witherspoon, more than 99.9% likely he's going to be a first-round pick.
Oh, yeah.
The first for Oklahoma since Cade Horton back in 2022 as a pitcher, and Cade Horton just made his debut.
He did and got the win.
That he did on Saturday for the Chicago Cubs.
We'll watch that game. Funny, I'm so old. I remember when Cade was just a little kid, friends with his dad. His dad coached, Cade and his brother's teams, but, happy for Mike, his dad, and Cade, obviously, exceptional arm.
We saw the 2022 College World Series sign. Cade Horton had come off of injury, didn't get into the pitching rotation till late in the year, and helped carry Oklahoma all the way to that College World Series final. They were talking with him the other day on the Cubs broadcast about a pitch that's become a real go-to, and that's his slider.
Yeah.
And he said Ben Abram, who was on this Oklahoma staff, really kind of helped him with the grip on that slider. And Skip Johnson said, yeah, I had Ben Abram just play catch with Cade Horton because he had a good cutter grip.
Yeah.
And it just kind of worked into a slider.
Developed into a little bit more depth, and yeah.
And he debuted against Texas in the 2022 Big 12 championship game. Struck out 9.
Yeah.
And Skip Johnson, he said, yeah, we worked with him, but it's Cade's aptitude for being able to learn how to do that.
Yeah, and develop and feel, like you said, good players help other players, especially on teammates, and what can I do better? Like talking about just adjusting the grip a little bit. Turned it into a whole nother pitch.
Jim Schlossnagle is out to ask something of the plate umpire Kevin Sweeney here. I don't know what it is. They may want to have the trainer come and look at Rodriguez. Yeah.
I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything either. It just looked like an ordinary foul ball to me. And of course, it may be, sometimes coaches play a little delay game and try to get pitcher out of rhythm. You see a lot of offensive coaches calling offensive timeout in situations like this sometimes.
This one fouled out of play. Pretty good battle here between Rodriguez and Kyson Witherspoon. And if nothing else, Rodriguez is getting into the pitch count. Kyson Witherspoon a bit.
Yeah, and he had a pretty good swing on that fastball up right there. Fouled it straight back. That usually means you're right on it.
Another 2-2. Just a little bit outside.
Yeah, really good pitch by Witherspoon and a even better take by Adrian Rodriguez.
Most pitches that Witherspoon has thrown this year, 107 against Mississippi State in the win back on March the 21st. Number 94 of the night comes here. And it'll take at least one more if he's going to get Rodriguez. So Rodriguez doubled back in the fourth. Schussler, who's next, also has a hit tonight. Longhorns run came in the third. Tommy Farmer, the fourth, was at third when Ethan Mendoza got hung up between first and second, and Oklahoma couldn't complete the rundown. Committed an error. And Farmer scored the lone Longhorns run. This one pulled. What an at-bat that is by Rodriguez. Into right field, he's going to try for two. Up with it, Christensen. The throw not in time. Lead-off double for Adrian Rodriguez. That was a gritty at-bat by the Texas second baseman.
Yeah, like you said, that's a great at-bat. Battled, fouled off some pitches, finally got a pitch to hit and drives it into right field. An even better job running the bases, hustling out of the box, turning that into a double.
Two doubles tonight for Adrian Rodriguez. He now has a dozen on the year. So the Longhorns able to get the potential tying run to the plate against Kyson Witherspoon here in the seventh inning with nobody out. Schussler is 1 for 2. Bunted, foul. Kibble Schussler, Texas A&M transfer. He was there in 2021, played 3 games. Then Jim Schlossnagle got the job there, and they parted ways. Didn't have room for Kibble Schussler. But now Jim Schlossnagle is at Texas. He inherits Kimball Schussler, and they have a great relationship. One of Schlossnagle's favorite players says he's just a winning ball player. He's had injury setbacks. He's moved from catcher to first base. He's trying to come through for Texas here.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first inning Texas has had the leadoff guy on.
You are correct.
And if you're Schussler here, you're just trying to get something to the right side. Ground ball to the right side. And get Rodriguez to third with less than 2 outs.
1-1. Cut on and missed.
Tied him up with a fastball right there.
96 in on the hands.
It didn't look like a very comfortable swing. This ball just runs in on him, ties him up. Definitely not the swing Schussler wants to have.
He's kind of adjusting his gloves and his wrist guards. Great umpire Kevin Sweeney notating something. That swing, I promise you, the wrists do not feel good after that.
No, definitely not. Especially if you make contact with it.
8 strikeouts tonight for Kyson Witherspoon. to first, speared by Hamlin, and a good job to get back to the bag by Rodriguez, but Mason Hamlin was way off the bag at first and able to reach up and backhand that.
Wow, yeah, that's a good play because that's a RBI single if that ball gets through. Still got in on the hands. He just tries to fight it off into the outfield, and Hamlin makes a great play, ranging to his right.
Back to second base is Rodriguez. Witherspoon throws down to second. Casey Borba, the batter. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts tonight. Upstairs, saw the high strike called a couple of times earlier.
Looks
And
like
now Skip Johnson's coming out. That's 101 pitches for Kyson Witherspoon, Rich.
Yeah, and he only has one out. I'm sure Skip's just going to go talk to him, see how he feels.
107, the high pitch count for Witherspoon.
I'm sure Skip would like him to get through this inning if possible. Probably give the ball to Crooks in the 8th and 9th.
Oklahoma does have one of the best closers in the Big 12, but he is not getting loose. That is right-hander Jason Bowden, often used pitcher. In fact, he's second in the SEC in appearances with 25. Just a visit for now from Skip Johnson. Big at bat here for Casey Borba. Two and 0 the count now.
Yeah, good job by Carmichael keeping that ball in front, ball down on the turf.
Turf fields, it feels like, can go one of two ways. A lot of times, if a catcher doesn't smother it, they try to play the hop on turf fields. There's a little bounce back there. 3 balls, no strikes. Witherspoon hasn't issued a walk tonight, but in danger of that here and putting the potential tying run aboard.
Yeah, that's the case, but it also puts the double play in order. I know you've turned quite a few double plays this year.
Glance off Carmichael's glove, and down to third base will go Rodriguez. It is a strike. Crossed up there, Richard. Did Carmichael just miss it?
He missed it. He catches it off the heel here. That ball's running in, and he tried to, frame it a little bit, and goes off the heel and gives Rodriguez the extra base. Now that good opportunity for Texas with the runner at third base, less than 2 outs.
So it is a pass ball against Carmichael.
And a ground ball in the middle will give him an RBI here.
Instead, a foul ball makes it 3-2 on Casey Borba.
Yeah. Kyson, Oklahoma, looking for the strikeout here.
8 of them tonight for Kyson Witherspoon. 112 strikeouts on the year. Payoff pitch got away from him, back to the back screen, and that took a fortunate bounce for Oklahoma. It is a walk to Casey Borba. But Rodriguez, because there's a brick wall back there behind the plate. We'll see if that's what it hit to get that bounce.
Yeah, that ball just slipped away from him. That just took a good bounce off the high hop off the padding back there. That's going to be it for Witherspoon.
He will leave after issuing his first walk of the night. 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits, no earned runs. And looks like Jamie Hitt, left-hander, comes in from the Oklahoma bullpen. We'll reset things for you in a close one 3-1, but the Longhorns have the tying run aboard in the top of the 7th. 5 hits, no earned runs, a walk, 8 strikeouts. He leaves with the 2 men on base as his responsibility. He was excellent once again tonight, Rich.
Yeah, he had it working early, especially with that slider. A couple arm side run fastballs. There's one up in the zone there. You know, he was on tonight. Just had ran into a little rough patch here in the 7th.
So the counter move here with Oklahoma turning to left-hander James Hitt. You see the crowd, I think, understanding this could be the final time that they see Kyson Witherspoon pitch here in Norman. It'll be a high first-round draft pick, and if Oklahoma does not become a regional host, that'll be the last time Kyson Witherspoon pitches here. So here's the story. Lefty James Hitt comes in. He would have faced left-hand hitting Jonah Williams, but Jim Schlossnagle has the right-hand hitting Will Gasparino, who did not start the game, and he will pinch hit with runners at first and third, 1 down, and Oklahoma leading 3-1.
Gasparino's a tall kid with a lot of pop.
Those pitches up and away from veteran James Hitt. 24th appearance. He's tied for 4th in the SEC in appearances. And he's only walked 2 batters in his last 15 innings. Hitt has been excellent. But what a weapon to bring off the bench here for Jim Schlossnagle. Hitt misses inside, 2-0. Fastball 93 miles an hour. Gasparino, the sophomore out of Los Angeles, 6'6", 210. He's gained about 15 pounds in the offseason. He's on the all Big 12 freshman team last year. Hit 2-0, down and in, 3 balls, no strikes. So James Hitt in danger of walking the bases loaded. And after no walks on the night, it would be back-to-back issued by Sooner pitching.
Yeah, definitely not what Skip Johnson was looking for when bringing Jamie Hitt in the game here.
He's going to throw over to first.
Unless he can work his way back into this count. And you know, with Schlossnagle team, he's not swinging 3-0. He's going to make him throw a strike.
Strike called at the letters. Will Gasparino's dad, Billy, now VP of baseball ops for the LA Dodgers. Former Oklahoma State Cowboy was Billy. Gritty second baseman, went to the College World Series. 3-1 is in there. So Hitt bounces back with a pair of strikes, and it's a full count. Jamie Hitt, the Texas Tech transfer. He's the longest tenured Oklahoma Sooner. This is his 3rd season in Norman. The payoff, pulled foul toward the Oklahoma dugout.
Yeah, this feels like a big at bat for Texas. And pinch hitting is one of the hardest things to do in baseball, but this youngster Will Gasparino is very talented.
Only the 2nd time he has not started a game this season. Comes off the bench in a big spot and draws a walk to load the bases. Back-to-back walks. One by Witherspoon to Borba, and this one by Hitt to Gasparino. So now the Longhorns have a big opportunity, and Tommy Farmer IV, who scored the lone run, will be the batter.
Skip's already signaled for a pitch and change.
So Hitt comes in, issues the walk, and Skip Johnson right back out to take him out. And now we will see Jason Bowden, right-hander, set to face Tommy Farmer with the bases loaded and one away in a 2-run game in the top of the 7th next. ESPN2, we will find out the location for all of these teams. These two will be in the mix on that day, and some other key college baseball happenings. Conference tournaments, of course, for the SEC. It'll be at Hoover Met beginning on Tuesday. Regionals begin on May the 30th. And first pitch swinging a base hit into right field by Tommy Farmer IV. Coming in to score the tying run for the Longhorns is the veteran Casey Borba. Adrian Rodriguez ahead of him. And it's a 2-run single to tie this game. Tommy Farmer IV has scored a run and driven in 2. He's got the Longhorns back dead even.
Yeah, he just ambushed fat first pitch fastball, middle. Does a good job getting on top of it and just drives it into left field. A 2-runner score. Clutch hitting.
So just like that, the Longhorns take advantage of back-to-back walks. Now it is Gasparino out at second base, and back to the top of the order for Ethan Mendoza, who's 1 for 3. A double, 2 walks, and a base hit, and suddenly it's a brand new ball game. Chopper to short. Willits will flip it to Branch.
Wow.
They get the out at second base, but can't make the trigger play to first. And so Mendoza is safe there. Gasparino makes third as Farmer is cut down, but he has done his work.
Yeah, and you can't assume a double play, so it's fielder's choice, but Willits needs to take that ball himself instead of making the flip that close with Branch at second. He was only a couple feet away from the base.
How about the night for Tommy Farmer IV? He has scored 1 and driven in 2. He's back in the dugout getting a breather as Baloo steps in. Baloo 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts against Kyson Witherspoon. Bowden tied him up there, and it's 1-1. Didn't even get a chance to tell you about Jason Bowden. This is his 26th appearance of the year out of Skip Johnson's bullpen. Texas A&M transfer. He's there with Jim Schlossnagle. And Bowden has been very durable. Pitched all 3 games in Oklahoma's series with Georgia and Mississippi State. And he has pitched in 2 games of 2 other SEC series. Bouncing ball up the middle, backhanded by Branch. He'll flip it to Willits, and the inning is over. But the Longhorns draw even on a huge base hit by Tommy Farmer IV, Rich.
Yeah, he just, like we said before, he just gets a fastball, first pitch fastball, and runs into it, drives it into left field. Able to score 2 and tie the game up.
We are all tied in game 1 in Norman as we hit the 7th inning stretch on a Thursday night. Peace. Texas tying it with a huge 2-run single by Tommy Farmer IV. And back to the bullpen go Jim Schlossnagle and the Horns, as we will see right-hander Thomas Burns. So Cade Bing and Grayson Saunier, and now the sophomore from Hortonville, Wisconsin, will take over in this 3-3 game. Burns, an Arizona State transfer, made 6 starts there last year and then had a season-ending injury. And he's kind of changed his arsenal and his delivery a little bit so as to try to avoid any further injuries. And this staff, Jim Schlossnagle and Max Wiener, say he's got a little bit of a controlled aggression to him. Pitches angry, Rich.
Wow, yeah. He looks like a big guy. Reminds me of, date myself again, Rob Beck. Got a little flow out of the back of the hat. Got the hair flowing.
Kyle Branch leads off for Oklahoma. Branch, Hamlin, and Willis, lower third of the order. It'll be a no decision for Kyson Witherspoon. He was very good in his time on the mound for Oklahoma tonight, but will not get his 10th win. It's up to the bullpens. Branch swinging through that one, 0-2. Branch 0 for 2. His fly to right field, grounded to short tonight.
Skip Johnson, Oklahoma, hoping to get that extra run so they can get to Dylan Crooks out of the bullpen.
Strike 3 call. Branch is caught looking.
Yeah, just froze him on a fastball in there. Nothing special. I don't know if he was looking for an off-speed pitch or something else, but he got froze up on that fastball.
So, new pitcher here in Burns. Strikes out Branch to start things. Mason Hamlin will be the Oklahoma hitter. He's been on base twice. Walked in the second, then got hit by a pitch in the 5th.
Yeah, Burns did a good job attacking the strike zone early on.
Downstairs, 1-1. Count is even. Defensive changes for the Longhorns as well, with the pinch hitting appearance of Will Gasparino. Tommy Farmer IV, who is the offensive hero of this game for the Longhorns, has moved over to left, and Will Gasparino is now out in center field. Let's see him. This one is
nice play.
Speared at first by Schuessler for the second out.
Hamlin did a pretty good job going down and getting that ball, getting the line drive. Schuessler lays out full extension. It's a nice play.
Learning a new position down there, converted catcher. Schuessler comes up with that one. Longhorns have defended cleanly tonight. No errors. Here's Dawson Willis, Sooner third baseman, number 9 batter. Reached base on a fielder's choice back in the 5th inning and came to score on Easton Carmichael's double. Really an over the top and down.
More of a 12-6 breaking ball.
To Willis toward the Oklahoma dugout over on the first base side. Nearly got back to the back screen, but Galvan is able to grab it. Burns kind of grins about it.
Yeah, having a good chuckle about it.
Would have been no harm, no foul. Nobody's on base. Shoots this one in the air toward left center field. Gasparino retreats, and the Sooners go 1-2-3. That is the second 1-2-3 inning tonight for Texas pitching. Tied at 3, headed to the 8th. They're tied at 3 apiece. We've got a good one. Opener of this 3-game series. First meeting as SEC foes between the Red River rivals. Oklahoma led for most of the night. Had an early 1-0 lead. Texas tied it up in the second. Trey Gamble hit a home run for Oklahoma, bottom of the second. And then Easton Carmichael, an RBI double, made it 3-1. But it was a 2-run base hit by Tommy Farmer IV in the top of the 7th inning. Tied this game at 3 apiece. Ryan Galvan leading off against Oklahoma's Jason Bowden. Longhorns have out hit the Sooners 6-4. Oklahoma the game's lone error, and that did lead to a run. Longhorns able to break through off of Kyson Witherspoon before he left. Gave up a walk and a double, and both those runs scored in the 7th inning. Galvan 0 for 3 tonight. A strikeout in the 6th. Count will stay 1-2 on Ryan Galvan. Middle part of the lineup here. And Texas has gotten into the Oklahoma bullpen. In the air, just in front of Trey Gamble in left field. Leadoff single in the 8th inning for Ryan Galvan, the Texas catcher.
Yeah, just hits a top spin lob out in the left field. Second time Texas had the leadoff guy on.
Rodriguez doubled to start the 7th and came in to score. Galvan's base hit here starts the 8th, and it brings Flores to the plate. Flores 0 for 3. Bowden peels a strike through there. Seven hits now for Texas. That one airmails back to the back screen. Wide of Easton Carmichael. And a wild pitch from Bowden moves the go-ahead run into scoring position for the Longhorns. Galvan.
Yeah, that ball just gets away from him. Be interesting to see if Schlossnagle has a bunt here. Try to get him to third.
Skip Johnson's Oklahoma bullpen remains active. Jason Bowden, the third pitcher of the night. Lifted into very shallow center field. In fact, the shortstop Willits behind the bag calls it. Jason Bowden gets a big out.
Yeah, that's a huge out. Not allowing Texas to get Galvan to third base with less than 2 outs.
Easton Carmichael goes out for a chat with Bowden. Here's Adrian Rodriguez. A pair of doubles and a run scored for the Texas second baseman tonight. As we said, he's been battling a hand injury, missed 7 games. Natural left-hander, started switch hitting at a young age. Is that what it takes, Rich? You got to start young.
You got to get him early. You know, a lot of these players that throw right-handed bat left, they just start off real early.
Takes this pitch. He actually, Rodriguez, can throw with both hands. Throws right-handed and left-handed in addition to switch hitting.
Wow. That's impressive. Because I definitely can't throw with my left hand.
Oh. 1-2 the count now. Rodriguez has extended his hitting streak to 12 games with the 2 doubles that he has tonight. 12 doubles on the season for him. Big opportunity for the Longhorns. Go ahead run in scoring position in the 8th.
Good pitch there. That's close. Good take by Rodriguez.
I mentioned Texas leads the nation in pitches per plate appearance. And there's another to make it a full count. On the other side of it, what makes a guy so able to pitch so often as Bowden seems to do for Oklahoma?
Well, one, you got to throw strikes, but he's also
and there's ball 4.
Able to pitch multiple innings, you know, in consecutive days. He's in shape. You know, he's got a good arm and is able to carry that load. That's tough right there. That ball, a little bit of arm side run. Kevin Sweeney says it's just a little outside.
Yeah, that was as close as any that we've seen tonight. And it gets Schuessler to the plate. Runners at first and second and 1 away. 3rd walk now issued by Oklahoma pitching. Schuessler singled back in the 2nd. He's grounded out and lined out to Hamlin at 3rd since then. Bowden back with a strike. Bowden lost something out there on the front of the mound.
Necklace came off.
That's what it looks like. Easton Carmichael started to jog out there. Now he's just going to put it in his back pocket. But he's still got a necklace on.
Yeah. A lot of these players have multiple chains.
0-1 misses outside. Were you a multiple chain guy?
No, I never
think so.
Wore a necklace. No.
Malachi and Kyson Witherspoon both over there. Looked like a 1 chain guy there.
Yeah. With the gold cross.
Jim Schlossnagle just came out of the dugout. Got a pitch clock violation there against Bowden. So the count is now 2-1. And now we got timeout called. Easton Carmichael looking at his helmet. We got all sorts of things going on here.
Something with the pitch comm.
Technology is great when it works.
Yeah, until it fails.
Looks like all good, and Carmichael will settle back in. Key moment in the game to have all these things kind of happening. I know people watch and they go, the game, the pacing of the game, it's moving at NASCAR speed for the guys playing it and coaching it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, things play, you know, the higher you go, the faster the game gets.
2-2 now.
Always thinking.
Jason Bowden and Kimball Schuessler through the right side into right field, a base hit. Galvan is around 3rd. He will score, and the Longhorns lead for the first time. It's 4-3 Texas on an RBI single by Kimball Schuessler. It's his 2nd hit of the ball game.
Yeah, it looked like he was fooled a little bit there, but able to get enough barrel on it to send it through the 4-hole. Yeah, he just reaches out and pokes it out there between first and second base and drives in the go-ahead run.
Schusler a 2 for 4 night. The RBI is his 35th. 4-3 Longhorns, and still runners at first and third as Borba tap dances out of the way of that one, low and in from Bowden. It is a run on 2 hits here in the inning. Skip Johnson back out. Might be headed back to the bullpen for his 4th pitcher of the night. Has not made the call. Whoever was coming out, Skip Johnson is saying, I just said time and sending it back there. Looks like Dylan Crooks, who is the Oklahoma closer. Now Jim Schlossnagle would like a clarification. Did he call for a pitcher or did he call time? Got the plate umpire Kevin Sweeney, second base umpire Scott Kennedy just conferring. So it is one visit, so you don't have to make a pitching change. Skip Johnson just saying, I was not calling for a new pitcher. I think we're all good, Rich.
Yeah. It didn't look like he was. Usually motion, he just had both hands up.
Casey Borba, 2 strikeouts, a walk, and a run scored for him. Borba scored the tying run to make it 3 apiece in the 7th on Tommy Farmer IV's 2-run single. He's got a chance to add to the Texas lead. Goes after that one down low. 1-2 now.
A good slider there from Bowden. Gets him out front, chases out of the zone.
Three runs in the last 2 innings for the Longhorns to take the lead. That one swung on and missed. 2 gone, and a big strikeout for Jason Bowden. That is strikeout number 9 for Oklahoma pitching.
Fastball, good arm side run, ties him up way inside. That's a tough pitch to hit.
Now Will Gasparino bats for the 2nd time. Came on and pinch hit, drew a walk back in the 7th. Bowden deals a strike at the knees. Three unanswered runs by the Horns. You see the pop that Gasparino has. 13 home runs on the year. Giving some credit to Troy Tulowitzki, who's on this Texas coaching staff, for helping him with his approach. This new staff of Jim Schlossnagle, Troy Tulowitzki remaining. As that swung on and missed. Carmichael will not throw down to second base, and so Schusler is able to take second. Schusler the stolen base. Rodriguez at third. On a 1-2 count. Pulled to third. Willis is on target, and the inning is over. But the Longhorns have retaken the lead on Kimball Schusler's RBI single. It's 4-3 Longhorns headed to the bottom of the 8th. Longhorns have rallied. They've scored 3 unanswered runs, turning a 3-1 deficit into a 4-3 lead. And the go-ahead RBI single by Kimball Schusler coming in the 7th. Part of this rally, it started right here. Huge base hits Tommy Farmer, the fourth, comes through with the 2-run single to tie it up in the top of the 7th. And it was Kimpel Schusler just threw the perfect spot on the right side, driving in the go-ahead run at 4-3. Ryland Galvan crossed the plate with the go-ahead tally. And Texas has one of the best closers in the country as well, Rich. The Longhorns are turning to him right now with the potential to try to get 6 outs on the night. It's Dylan Volantis, the freshman from Thousand Oaks, California.
Yeah, save opportunity. Big, tall, lanky pitcher. He's going to have to get through the meat of this order with Trey Gamble leading off top of the order. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know, like I said, Thousand Oaks, California, 6'6", 212. Big, long. Those tall guys, man, that ball gets on you in a hurry.
You see that stellar ERA. Volantis this year has just been excellent. 11 of his 12 saves have come in SEC play. 20 wins for Texas in conference play. 11 of them with him on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have guys like that. I mean, you get a lead late, like Texas has done here, and you can turn to a guy like Dylan Volantis and count on him to close it out more often than not.
He was drafted last summer in the 20th round by the A's. USC signee, who then switched to Texas. He's out of Thousand Oaks, California. You say he's got that California cool vibe, kind of like you, Rich.
Well, the crazy thing is I lived in Oklahoma a lot longer than I lived in California.
Me too. But as you said, Oklahoma's lineup at the top with Trey Gamble. Scored a run in the first and then hit a solo home run to right field in the third. It's also grounded out to second base. Really got to give this Texas bullpen credit as well. Between what first we saw Grayson Saunier come in and do, and then Thomas Burns was just tough. 7th inning, 1-2-3.
Yeah, lights out, 7th inning.
There's strike 3 call. Big looping curveball from Volantis. Catches Gamble looking.
Yeah, tough pitch to handle. Said big breaker. Gets Gamble looking. Guess he thought it was going to be down, but that caught the bottom of the zone.
One away in the 8th, and Easton Carmichael the batter. Carmichael 2 for 3, had an RBI double. That was back in the bottom of the 3rd. It was Oklahoma's last run. Gave him a 3-1 lead. Beg your pardon, it was not their last. Carmichael, such an integral part of this Oklahoma attack. His double came in the 5th inning. Did he go around? William Van Raphorst, the first base umpire, says yes, he did. And it's 1-2. Bounce away from Galvan. Longhorns have these pieces in their bullpen like Max Grubbs and Volantis, and they just kind of pick and choose the best spots to try to use them when they sense that a wind is at hand. And they go to Volantis to try to get 6 outs tonight.
Yeah, it's good to have options with good arms in the back of that bullpen.
Payoff pitch coming to Easton Carmichael. And it's a one-out walk to Carmichael. Third time that he has reached base safely. Tying run is aboard for Oklahoma in the 8th inning with 1 out. Sam Christensen will be the batter. Lefty-lefty situation here. Tough pitch, kind of running in on.
Yeah. Left on left. Tough matchup.
Carmichael not very far off the bag over there, and he will steal a base, as we alluded to earlier. Stolen 11 of them this year. 11 out of 15. Was caught stealing earlier tonight, though. One and one on Sam Christensen. Could not hold up, so it's a ball and 2 strikes now.
Yeah, that big breaking ball again from Volantis. They're going to move into the shift. 2 strikes, left-hander up.
So it is Borba, the third baseman, shifting over to the second base side of second base. You watch over at first base, Schussler, who is a former catcher, plays off the bag by about a step. And he's kind of turned as you kind of watch him here.
Yeah, it makes for a little bit shorter tag.
Inside right there.
Yeah. Ooh.
And the 2-strike pitch hits Sam Christensen and moves the potential tying run into scoring position. A walk and a hit by pitch. Some rare errors made by a pretty unflappable freshman pitcher.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. That ball just got away from him, hit him right in the ribs.
It's only the third batter Volantis has hit with a pitch this year in 41 innings. And so Max Wiener, the pitching coach, will come out for a visit. First time we've seen him out for a visit tonight. He's improved this staff by about a run and a half in earned run average over last year, leading the SEC in ERA 3.53. Opponents, as you alluded to earlier, batting just .217 against this Texas pitching staff. Was it Texas A&M prior? Volantis will stay in and face the Oklahoma cleanup batter, Jackson Willits, with 1 away and runners at first and second. Willits trying to hold up, and he did. They appeal to first. Jackson Willits had a base hit back in the first. He has flied to center and grounded to first base since then. Oklahoma with a chance to draw even with a base hit.
Started him off with a couple off-speed pitches.
And a couple of pretty nasty off-speed pitches. 1 and 2.
Another slider there.
Well, it's kind of a check swing roller through the left side. It's a base hit. Easton Carmichael going to round third and score the tying run. And it's all even at 4 apiece on an RBI base hit by Jackson Willits.
Yeah, another breaking ball. Got him out front. Willits just able to find a hole over there in the 6th hole. You see it here. Another breaking ball. He gets him out front. Just able to find a hole. Big at bat for Jackson Willits.
Jackson Willits delivering his 41st run driven in. Easton Carmichael, who walked, comes in to score for the first time tonight. And we are tied again. The Red River Rivals. Jason Walk with a big hack at that first pitch. Walks 0 for 3 tonight. Sooners looking for just their 2nd win this year when trailing after 7. That's Reggie Willits walking out for a visit with Jason Walk. What do you think this conversation is, Rich?
He's kind of tried to ambush a fastball there, chase the ball out of the zone. He's probably just saying, hey, don't try to do too much here. Just be who you are. Base hit puts you ahead here. We don't need a 3-run homer. Even though they would take it.
Walk is grounded out, flied out, and struck out tonight. Go ahead run at 2nd. Potentially is Christensen. Roller to short. Flores to Rodriguez for 1. Relay not in time to get the speedy Jason Walk. So that keeps the inning alive for the Sooners. Down to 3rd goes Christensen. And Walk's speed keeps the inning going.
Yeah, good job getting down the line. Wasn't a very good feed from Flores to Rodriguez there. Made it tough for him to turn that ball and make a good throw to first.
I'm not sure if the throw maybe beat him, but the back foot of Schuessler was not on the bag there.
Yeah,
certainly close.
Had to chase the ball off the bag.
Now time called here. Scott Mudler set to bat in another lefty-lefty situation.
Probably talking about what they're going to do if Walk steals the base here. If they're going to throw through or hold it at the plate like Carmichael did a couple innings ago.
Well, we saw that situation arise with Texas earlier in the game. It's the way the Longhorns got their first run with Tommy Farmer the 4th at 3rd base and a runner at 1st base. And at the time, didn't look like much, but it was Ethan Mendoza got himself hung up in a rundown between 1st and 2nd, and Oklahoma could not complete the rundown play, allowed a run to score. So Texas talking about it if that situation arises again. Scott Mudler 0 for 3 tonight. Oklahoma chasing home a run with a walk, a hit batsman, and a base hit. Right back through there, even at 1-1 to Mudler. Scott Mudler drove in 4 runs in Oklahoma's weekend series at Kentucky last weekend. Rifles this one into right center field, but Gasparino slides to make the play, using those long strides to chase it down. And we'll go to the 9th, tied at 4. Wouldn't have it any other way in the Red River rivalry. What a way to wrap the regular season. A 3-game series between the Red River Rivals for the first time as SEC members. And it's a nature program. The Easter Bunny came out for a return engagement because this game was so good. 4 apiece top of the 9th inning at L. Dale Mitchell Park in Norman. Alongside Rich Hills, I'm Chad McKee. Get to do this 2 more times this weekend.
Yeah, if the next 2 games are as good as this one, everybody's in for a treat.
Dylan Crooks is on, so both closers are now in the game. We saw Dylan Volantis come in for Texas, actually gave up the tying run, and Oklahoma will turn to its closer, and that's Dylan Crooks. 12 saves on the year. He's got just 4 earned runs, and opponents are batting just .202 against him this season in 25 2/3 innings, Rich.
Yeah, Crooks has been outstanding all season long. See that 1.4 ERA, 27 strikeouts, 9 walks. He's been the guy. All they're hoping to do here is shut him down and maybe find a way to scratch across another run in the bottom of the 9th.
But he will start by facing the hitting hero of the night so far for the Longhorns. That's Tommy Farmer IV. He singled and scored in the 3rd, and then had a 2-run tying single in the 7th inning, which made the game 3 apiece. Top of the order on deck, but Farmer and Crooks to start the 9th. There's a strike to even it at 1-1. Dylan Crooks' brother Jimmy was a big part of Oklahoma's run all the way to the College World Series Championship Series back in 2022. Drafted by the Cardinals in the 4th round. After that, he's in the Cardinals system. Chance to be in the big leagues. There's a strike. Nope, beg your pardon, low and away. And he's pitching to Easton Carmichael, whose brother Braden was a pitcher at Oklahoma. So Crooks's brother was a catcher at Oklahoma. Carmichael's brother was a pitcher. Roped down the left field line, but foul. Big whack there by Farmer. He's been lashing the ball all over the ballpark tonight.
Good swing there. I mean, he stroked that ball just a couple feet foul. Otherwise, that's a double for sure.
Mentioned been a much bigger part of things this year. But probably not much bigger than he's been tonight. Responsible for 3 of the 4 Texas runs. And a full count.
The crowd didn't like that one.
At least those in crimson.
Right.
Down the left field line, and a fair ball that's going to bang off the wall. Gathered up out there by Gamble. It's a double for Farmer, who's got a 3-hit night. And he has the Longhorns with the go-ahead run in scoring position with nobody out in the top of the 9th.
Wow. He got all that ball. That slider hangs up bell high. He catches it out front, drives it to left field. This time the ball stays fair. In there with a stand-up double.
Double number 13 for Tommy Farmer IV on the season. Back to the top of the order for Mendoza, who takes inside from Crooks. Mendoza 1 for 4 on the night, had a base hit back in the 3rd. That one over but low, and it's 2-0. 9 hits for Texas in this game. 3 of them have been doubles. 2-1 after that foul ball. Back and forth ball game. Oklahoma once led 3-1. Texas led 4-3. The Longhorns trying to break our latest tie. That'll square things at 2-2 on Mendoza.
Been a couple of big swings from Mendoza. With 2 strikes, he just needs to try to get something on the ground to the right side.
The 2-2 rolled back up the middle. Backhanded by Branch. The throw is low, and Hamlin can't handle it. Everybody will be safe. And the lead run is at third with nobody out for Texas.
Yeah, good job of Mendoza. Puts the ball in play. Hits it up the middle. Gets the Farmer to fourth to third base. Branch is not able to make the play. Short hops Hamlin. Can't handle it.
It has not been a clean defensive game for the Sooners, who have committed their second error of the night. And the Longhorns with big possibilities here. Heart of the order, ready to roll in. Max Ballou 0 for 4 in his return tonight. It's a high drive to deep center field. Jason Walk is back to the warning track, reaches up. This one is high off the batter's eye wall and gone. Drilled by Max Ballou. It's a 3-run home run. And Texas takes a 7-4 lead in the top of the ninth. That one was launched.
Yeah, that ball was absolutely stung. Ballou, after having 3 strikeouts and a ground out, hits an absolute bomb to center field. You see it here. Pitch just fastball up, fell high. And he put the barrel on it.
Welcome back, Max Ballou. 3-run go-ahead home run in the top of the ninth to potentially give the Longhorns an SEC title. First pitch strike here to Ryan Galvan.
Yeah, Ballou was fired up.
It is home run number 7. RBIs 23, 24, and 25 from Max Ballou.
And still nobody out.
Oh, 2 here on Galvan. Galvan singled and scored in the 8th. What a Texas rally from down 3-1 to lead 7-4 now. Strike 3 as he went around. Looks like the Ballou family celebrating that home run in the return of Max Ballou tonight.
Skip's going to make a pitching change here. Probably try to save Crooks for the rest of the weekend.
So Skip Johnson going to go back to his bullpen. Looks like Jackson Kircher will come on. The base is empty and 1 out in the 9th inning. Texas now on top 7-4. Longhorns with 10 hits. Dylan Crook's going to lead this one. As you said, Rich, try to preserve him for potentially games 2 and 3. Jackson Kircher will take the ball. Tough outing for a guy who's been one of the best in the country. But the return of Max Ballou with an exclamation point to give the Longhorns the lead in the 9th.
And he hit that ball so well. Fired up as he should be. Big 3-run homer.
is on for Oklahoma with one away in the ninth inning. And he goes to work here against the Texas shortstop Jalen Flores, who's 0 for 4 on the night. Kircher is the 5th Oklahoma pitcher employed. Kyson Witherspoon went 6 1/3 innings. He gave 5 hits and 3 runs, but only 2 of those were earned. And he struck out 8. Since then, Jamie hit, Jason Bowden, Dylan Crooks, and now Jackson Kircher. This a bounding ball cut off at third by Willis. 2 down. So for Texas tonight, the chance to not just clinch at least a share of the SEC regular season title, but they could clinch it outright with a win and an Arkansas loss. And Arkansas trails Tennessee 7-3 in the top of the 7th. So this could wind up being a big night for Texas. If they hang on to win, it's at least a share. Adrian Rodriguez has a pair of doubles tonight. 2 for 3. Longhorns 6 runs in the last 3 innings. Huge 2-run single by Tommy Farmer. He's also doubled here in this inning and scored on Ballou's homer. Kircher's 0-2. A little bit low. The Sooners in the bottom of the 9th inning will have the lower third of the order. Branch, Hamlin, and Willis due up for Skip Johnson. See if he chooses, Reggie Willits chooses to pinch hit anybody. Count will stay at 1-2. Same 2 teams tomorrow at 6:30, and then the regular season finale 2 o'clock on Saturday to wrap up this series before everybody convenes in Hoover for the SEC championship beginning next Tuesday. Rodriguez having a good freshman year. As we said, extended his hitting streak to a dozen games tonight. Two balls, 2 strikes to him now. Kircher hit him.
Yeah, looked like got him in the knee.
So Rodriguez, who's had to deal with that hand injury, missing 7 games, gets hit by one that just got away from Kircher with 2 strikes. Looks like he's going to give it a go and stay in.
Yeah, we'll see it here. He's trying to come in, but that ball's way in. Oh, man. That never feels good.
So the inning continues now for Schuessler. It's the 4th time that Rodriguez has reached base safely tonight. And this one whacked foul by Schuessler. Schuessler had the go-ahead base hit in the top of the 8th inning. RBI single that gave Texas a 4-3 lead. Oklahoma responded with an RBI single by Jackson Willits to tie the game at 4. But here in the inning, a 3-run home run by Max Ballou to put the Horns on top 7-4. Two and one now. Fastball that's up and away. Still some light activity out in the Oklahoma bullpen. Longhorns going to give the ball back to Dylan Volantis and see if he can close it out. That is Jaden Barfield, freshman left-hander throwing. There goes Rodriguez. One hop throw will not be in time to get him.
Yeah, really good jump by Rodriguez there. Carmichael didn't have a chance.
12 of 13 in the stolen base department for the freshman from Flower Mound. Schuessler to Willis at third, and the inning is over. But the damage done, and the return of Max Ballou. Is it ever a return?
Especially after a few rough at bats to start the game.
Max Ballou may have just given Texas an SEC title. Bottom of the ninth is coming up. A win tonight. Came into this game with a 4-4 tie once Jackson Willits tied it up, and then Ballou hits the home run. So Volantis has gone in position to pick up his 4th win. Faces Kyle Branch, then Mason Hamlin and Dawson Willis due up for the Sooners. Kyle Branch is 0 for 3 tonight. Two balls and 2 strikes now to Branch. And pull foul toward the Oklahoma dugout. Volantis' ERA in SEC games alone is 1.37. It's the best of any pitcher in the league.
Yeah, big, tall kid. Good fastball, really good breaking ball.
He was a water polo player as well in high school. He's almost tall enough to stand up and have his head above water in the pool.
Right. Yeah, we had water polo at our high school too in California.
Did you participate?
I did not. I'm not that good of a swimmer. I mean, I can swim, but not like those guys do. Those guys have some stamina.
No doubt.
Well, Janet Evans went to our rival high school.
Oh, multiple.
She
Olympic
dominated.
gold medal.
She dominated, obviously.
Two pitches pulled foul. Kyle Branch is trying to get something started for Oklahoma. Base runner trying to break the rhythm of Volantis. Volantis gave up a walk and hit a batter, and then Willits came through for Oklahoma with that tying hit in the bottom of the 8th. And full count now to Kyle Branch.
Yeah, pretty good. Kyle Branch putting together a pretty good at bat so far. Fouled off a couple tough pitches. Just trying to get a mistake. Something to hit.
battling away with Volantis. Two freshmen locking up here. This one sky down the right field line. Long run for Ballou. Makes the catch though in fair ground. One away.
Like you said, that was a long run for Ballou to make that catch.
Ballou feeling it after hitting that blast straightaway center field to give Texas the lead in the top of the ninth. Mason Hamlin, the batter. 0 for 1. He's been on base twice. Once on a walk, once by a hit by pitch. Whips a 90-mile-an-hour fastball through on the inner half.
The way the ball comes out of his hand, it looks like it's faster than 90. Got some good life to that fastball.
Two and one now to Mason Hamlin. Oklahoma hopeful to get regular first baseman Dayton's hockey back, but not able to be in the lineup tonight. Injured ankle. Sidelined him for about the last 2.5, 3 weeks. Taking some batting practice, but still a little too sore to go. Hamlin has been in there for the most part in his stead. Spoiled. Potentially strike three there. The count will stay at 2-2. How many SEC teams will be in the NCAA tournament? 12?
Quite a few.
Could 13 get in? You see, it's been standing room only up on the concourse. That ball didn't look like it was swung on by Hamlin, but they appeal. No swing at first as William Van Raphorst. So Hamlin just trying to squeak his way aboard by any means possible. And he will. Second time he's walked tonight.
That's a tough take right there. That ball's pretty close.
So Volantis has been solid, but not perfect. He has hit a batter and walked two since he came on. Number 9 batter Dawson Willis now for the Sooners. He is 0 for 3 with a run scored.
See if Dawson Willis can flip the lineup over for the Sooners here.
Trey Gamble, who has homered tonight, would bat next, barring a double play. One and two now on the Sooner third baseman. Volantis, the 4th pitcher of the night for the Longhorns. Longest outing was Saunier, who went 3 1/3. Gabe being started, and Willis swings and misses. Sooners are down to their final out. Second strikeout for Volantis. Now Trey Gamble, who homered back in the third inning for Oklahoma. Launched it way out of here to right field. Made it 2-1 Sooners at the time. They would eventually lead 3-1. The Longhorns got a 2-run single from Tommy Farmer the fourth to tie it in the third. RBI single by Kimball Schuessler gave the Longhorns the lead in the eighth. Oklahoma tied it. Jackson Willett's RBI single. Bottom of the eighth made it 4 apiece. But it is Max Ballou and his return to the lineup that is the difference maker with a 3-run home run in the top of the inning. And now 2 strikes on Gamble. Gamble has also been hit by a pitch and scored a run. Swing and a miss. And the Longhorns have clinched at least a share of their first ever SEC regular season title. Dylan Volantis will pick up the win in relief. And pending what happens with the conclusion of the Tennessee-Arkansas game, Texas could be the outright title winner by night's end. What a job they have done, though. 21-7 now. And the Sooners fall to 13-15 overall in the SEC. First year in the league, and the Longhorns have locked up at least a piece of the pie, Rich.
Yeah.